From the organic to the tectonic, this is Techno Thursdays on PLANTXRADIO. These are Conversations on High with Kana Express and the 7 Div, talking all things cannabis with cannabis people and the people of the plants.
Shout out to you, family. You're on PLANTXRADIO right here on a Thursday. We have our guest on the line, Kiran Thapa. Kiran, I hope I'm saying your name right, yo.
Yes, you are correct. My name is Kiran Thapa. Yeah, your pronunciation is absolutely correct. And I'm from Nepal. I would like to thank you so much, South African team and Samora, for having me. A warm welcome from the Himalayas.
Shout out to that, you know. So the discussion had me digging deeper into the Nepal, and I like the fact that you are talking about the Himalayas, but I saw that you're also on the borderlines on the Tibet side, and then Bangladesh on the other side, and then India on the other end, you know. What a beautiful surround, yo.
Yeah, we're surrounded by China and India from overall from east, west, north, and south. But land of Himalayas, Himalaya is a very beautiful country where we have the long history of cannabis and medical marijuana, as well as weed, as well as hemp, industrial hemp. So I'll be sharing all in this episode with you.
That's fire. Shout out to that. As we get ready for that discussion in depth, let's take a listen to the sounds of Tehutai with Ankh. He says, "Fear not." I was having a conversation with one individual yesterday, and the whole narration ended up with indications that there is always a fear to conquer every day. Tehutai in Ankh here says, "Fear not, there is life after death." Let's hear what life remains in the Nepal with regard to the cannabis movement. We do know the changes that happened, causing to the thousands moving away from it. But in the moment, Tehutai and Ankh on PLANTXRADIO. Away.
The end of one journey is but the beginning of another. We live on and on. The 42 wise counsels. Yes, sir. Brought to you by Tehutai. Say, "Oh, fear not. There is life after death." That's the truth. He said, "Fear not. There is life after death." Somebody tell me, what's going on? Does this thing go on and on? I want to know. Was there a beginning? Tell me. Is there an end? Anki Bata, fear not. There is life after death. Yes. I say, fear not. Don't you dare. There is life after death. Yes. Teacher say, lessons from my bed. Yeah. Lessons from my bed. In all the pressure, you got to find some ease. Yes. Through all the hurt and all the joys, there's a message in the breeze, and if you listen, you will hear. Before you find world peace, you got to find it deep within. Yeah, fear not. There is life after death. Anki Baja say, fear not. There is life after death. That's the truth. Since the days of my youth, is the seeker of the truth. Yes. In my days into the skies, in my studies, as I analyze and I see through all the disguise, there's a spirit which always guides, and through the hurt and all the joys, we always got the choice. Yes, we got the choice. Do as they want, or rebel. Do we mourn or we rejoice? Do we stand up for the cause? Do we comply just because of the fear and the dread of this so-called disease? Fear not. There is life after death. That's the truth. I tell you now. fear not. Don't you dread his life.
You're listening to PLANTXRADIO with uncurated culture, communing on plant conversations.
Shout out to you, family. You're on PLANTXRADIO right here on a Thursday. Time check, it's 5 minutes to the hour of 5 o'clock, the 21st of September 2023. Techno Thursday it is. We dive in for the late session, but more so continuing even with the hemp homing week. 5 years of privatization. The conversations around cannabis are continuing to morph year on year, with liberties being afforded to the plant in one end and liberties being taken away on another. The give and take dance right here, even as we continue the liberties around plant conversations. Today we talk on the plains of Asia, South Asia. We are even in conversation with Kiran Tapa. Kiran joins us in collaboration even with Yongama. What's up? Welcome to PLANTXRADIO. Yongama Hulana is our intern from Shiva Cannabis Academy. He comes here even on a media front, right? How about that? Yongama, welcome to PLANTXRADIO.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me today.
That's fire, King. Aware. Now, the conversations, even in this moment, today in particular, are focused on Kiran, more so even with the narrations around the generational hemp heritage in Nepal. We do know the Nepal heritage around cannabis, more so on the THC front, is well documented, as thousands of young people between the 60s and the 70s flocked even to the Nepal. I will not be the one to share that story today, but I'll let Kiran give us an overview of who he is and give us light even into the royal hemp appropriations, that he pioneers even as a ganjapreneur in conversation. Kiran, I'm passing the mic to you in this moment, maybe giving us an overview as to who Kiran is, talking generationally and how hemp has been running in your family over the years. If we can begin the conversation with you giving us an oversight into the current state of hemp as a plant in Nepal. Love and light, King. Of cannabis as a plant. You're on the mic, Kiran.
Thank you so much for having me. Good evening from Nepal. It's me, Kiran Thapa. We are the manufacturer of hemp textiles based in Nepal. We manufacture hemp footwear, hemp backpacks, and every industrial materials made from industrial hemp, like rope and other every things related to hemp industry. So I'm very much nervous today to share my story with you. So where do I start from? Sorry.
Yeah, we're here. We wanted you to maybe start like with your grandparents and their involvement, in the hemp industry, and how you received the pattern, and and run with the race from there. How does that sound?
Okay. Before starting my hemp journey, I've seen my grandfathers and grandfathers starting weaving hemp clothes, weaving hemp ropes, and every materials made from hemp. They used to make hemp ropes for animals, and they used to make hemp clothes for themselves to wear, and they used to eat hemp seeds, and used to make hemp protein for themselves to sustain their. Hemp was like when I was born, hemp was like a way of living for them. But before that, hemp was totally illegal and banned in Nepal because in 1960s, as we know, the world should know about the hippies areas in 1960s in Nepal. People and hippies all around the world would come to Nepal to smoke weed and marijuana in the streets of Kathmandu. The crowds from all over the world would stay here for smoking pots and smoking hash, smoking we in Nepali we say chilam in here. So after in 1971, in Nepal there was a revolution, and when American president declared war on drugs in all over the world, it highly affected the economy in Nepal. Like everything, cultivation of hemp, harvesting of hemp was totally banned in Nepal. So every hippies and every people who traveled to Nepal slowly went back to their countries, and the economy fell down. So then slowly and gradually after the revolution, most revolution, there was huge change in the government of Nepal, and gradually the constitution also changed, and slowly people again started to cultivate hemp for their purpose, for the living. Because where the village where I belong, every people, every family, and every individual houses used to grow hemp, and their major occupation was hemp. They used to make rope from the very beginning. Their ancestors would make the village, every fields were covered with hemp. They used to make hemp ropes. Everything was very traditional. They didn't have any machines to make clothes. They didn't have any machines to make rope, but they used to make, everything was handmade. And we can say that it was a way of living for him. It was a way of living. Hemp was the way of living for Nepalese people back. So after it was banned, then it was very our country was highly affected. So harvesting of hemp was totally ended. And after 2030, like in 2030 in Nepal, the constitution was slowly changed, gradually changed, and western part of Nepal was allowed to cultivate hemp for industrial purpose. And I also belong to western part of Nepal, and our family ancestors, they again gradually started growing crops, growing hemp for their living. And when I was born, I used to see them making ropes, making clothes for themselves. And they used to export to they used to come to Kathmandu to export. And every foreigners, like every foreign businessmen used to come to our village to collect hemp ropes, and they used to give certain ideas to make clothes, so they could export hemp to their countries. But my journey began from the past 6 years, because it was very traditional that our villagers and every farmers in Nepal stopped cultivating hemp in high quantity, because it was very traditional. There wasn't any modern way of weaving, modern way of making ropes and textiles. So it was very decreasing. It was the quality and the quantity of cultivation of hemp and making textiles was decreasing slowly. So I researched on different companies around the world and inside Nepal who were manufacturing hemp textiles. And I started with hemp footwear, hemp shoes. There wasn't any companies making hemp shoes in Nepal. So after a long research, I started manufacturing. I told my families that now I should get involved in hemp. I'll start a new way of making hemp fibers, making hemp textiles, and I'll start with shoes. But they didn't first they didn't agree with me, because they had left cultivating. They had already left this cultivation of hemp, making hemp fibers a long back, and they didn't first agree with me because they didn't agree with me to start hemp business. But I started on my own, because I had my own idea I had my own way of thinking. I had my own way. How do I carry this to further for a long journey? So we started manufacturing hemp footwears, and from the starting of manufacturing hemp footwears, it began gradually. We started manufacturing clothes and backpacks and other materials. Now we are here exporting our footwears to different countries, Europe and US, and different many countries around the world.
That's fire, you know. Shout out to you. We're on PLANTXRADIO right here on a Thursday. We're in conversation with Kiran Thapa. He's an entrepreneur, as well as let me take it in his own words right here. He's an entrepreneur and the founder of Real Hemp Enterprises, as well as a hemp activist. Tell me, Kiran, I love the fact that you said when the you said the west side of Nepal was given freedoms to grow hemp so that they could continue in production. That was in 2013. How was it now reintegrating again into the hemp economy? You know, was it an industry that had been shut down totally, or were there still some roots that you could hold on to? You know, maybe talking that journey into reintegrating into the hemp front again, right? And then also giving us into light, you know, with results with referral to industrialization, how that shift changes, you know, when I know you mentioned a bit of it, you know, but like when you say you want to do it your own way and you go to industrialization, I know you brushed over it generally from from where you were to exporting even to Europe and Africa and wherever it is in Americas, you know. That is humbling, you know. So I want you to talk us on that path, you know, talk about reintegrating into the hemp industry in 2013 as well as the industrialization swing. Maybe if we can take it from there, King. Blessings. Thank you.
But industrial hemp is totally not only fully not legalized here to grow hemp. After Nepal government banned for the cultivation of hemp marijuana in Nepal. I told you before that only some few at western part of Nepal were allowed to cultivate hemp, but also it's very difficult to grow hemp. Whenever we grow hemp in a bit high altitude where this government people or government police don't reach there and they don't destroy hemp, because and still very raw materials of hemp is very shortage here, because it's not totally legal here. And in 2010 before, there are lots of people like hemp activists like me in Nepal. We had also formed and we still revolute. We are still fighting against the government to really legalize in Nepal. We are protesting against the government. There are lots of people like me working in hemp industry, fighting for the government to legalize it for recreational as well as medicinal purpose. As it's only now certain there are very few manufacturers in Nepal who are totally engaged in hemp production, but also these few manufacturers don't get as much raw materials as they need, because as it's totally not legal to cultivate hemp here. So
that's a different story, you know. That's humbling. I hear you clearly right there, you know. That was the talk. I was going to talk about the difference between when you keep saying hemp, you know. Obviously looking at the THC levels in conversation scientifically, it would be low THC cannabis, you'd say. But that being said, maybe let's take a musical break and listen to the sounds of Dynamite from the islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who says Jaja. It's a whole different thing right here on PLANTX Radio. When we connect next, we continue the conversation to find out how Kiran is continuing to propagate even on a hemp front in an industry that is partially paralegal, like he's saying. It's not yet legal in operation. This is the functionality in the environment that is presented even in the present day lands of South Africa and across most economies that are continuing to free the plant. There is a partial freedom in the absence of legislation. Thailand is the present day live story that talks to that. But now let's Dynamite talk more and we talk less. Love and light. You're on PLANTX Radio. Away.
Grow One Africa, growing responsibly. Visit our website at www.growone.africa or email info@growone.africa.
Shout out to you, family. You're on PLANTX Radio right here on a Thursday, Techno Thursday it is. DJ Samora on the ones and twos, Didi Aya on the lineup. Yongama on the line together with Kiran. Yongama, shout out to you. In indications, the conversations are going on around hemp in the Nepal, but more so with Kiran giving us an overview as to the operations that he is undertaking as an entrepreneur even in the Nepal, talking to the fact that even in the present moments they face arrests as activists that are standing even for the liberties, for the full liberties of the plant in Nepal, but in the same moment they manage to find an ethos to operate. That being said, talking those operations, Young Ama, you've got a narration to put forward.
Yes, my question is surrounding the laws and the regulations. Like here in South Africa, growing hemp is also not completely legal because there are a lot of regulations. Like we have governing bodies that we can acquire licensing and permits from so that we can grow cannabis plants like hemp without having any interference from the cops. In Nepal, do you have any regulatory governing bodies that do allow you to buy permits from them to allow for the growth of cannabis?
In Nepal, if I want to grow hemp for industrial purpose, I can grow hemp, but I have to assure them that I am not selling marijuana. I'm not growing hemp for weed, not selling weed, not selling marijuana. I'm cultivating hemp for industrial purpose. If I assure them, then we can grow hemp for industrial purpose. Suppose if I have a company related to hemp textiles, then I can grow for textile purpose. But sometimes due to political instability, the opposition party or different people might what happens if people see you cultivating hemp. For everyone thinks this guy is cultivating hemp for marijuana, is smoking weed, but they never see the positive sides of hemp. They never see that I am growing hemp for textiles. I am not growing hemp for ropes. I am not growing hemp for shoes and bags. They see. But recently we protesters, we hemp activists have signed a petition. Like we collected 10 lakh signatures from each and every hemp activist in Nepal to pressurize the government for legalizing in Nepal. And we have also done very many activities related to protests, many protests against the government to legalize it. And recently, 3 or 4 months back, government has also passed the constitution for growing hemp for medical purpose, for research and development. We can grow hemp, but this license is not given to everyone. It has not totally passed from the government. The government bodies have signed the petition that it should be legalized for medicinal purpose, and for R&D we can grow hemp, but we don't have license. But hemp industries which are manufacturing hemp textiles have a long way back. We had to suppose I grow hemp, I manufacture hemp textiles. I have a land, certain acres of land growing hemp. So I pay taxes to whenever I transport the fabrics from one place to another. I pay taxes to certain tax to the government level body. So I show them that I have paid taxes for not for marijuana, not for weed. I have the fibers, I have hemp fabrics, I have cultivated it for hemp fabrics, and so they allow me for the production. Like we don't have any license for growing hemp. We have an association, every country have association of every bodies like Hemp Association of Nepal. If we are from Hemp Association of Nepal, then Hemp Association of Nepal will be backup for us to back support for us from the crops or other government bodies who destroy our crops. But in 1960s, when there was time of hippies, every people or every farmer who wants to grow hemp or who wants to sell hash, marijuana, they had license. The government would provide license to them to grow and sell marijuana. But in this current scenario, we don't have any license to grow, or we don't have any license to grow crops. If you want to grow, we grow.
All right, that's fire. That's fire. That's quite a different way of operating. But now maybe the question would be like talking to
Okay.
talking.
Let me.
Yeah. In there, whilst you're adding that, please also talk about your hemp, how you classify hemp and you separate. Yeah.
Oh, but many people fear to grow hemp because they don't want to take risk, or they don't want any government people or cops to come to their land and destroy the crops, because every year tons of acres of land, many acres of lands of hemp are destroyed by government bodies or cops, for which land which we cultivate for hemp fibers also they destroy crops. So due to that reason, we lack their manufacturing companies in Nepal lack they have a shortage of raw materials.
That's something. I wanted you to also bring clarity into when you say hemp, because you said when you come into contact with policy enforcers, you do show them your hemp cloth. You also show them your products, in the fibers to indicate that you're extracting. But maybe talking percentage content in the flowers that come from that hemp, what are the numbers like? How do you classify? What do you classify as hemp? Is it high CBD? Is it like the plant on its own? And also, is the crop that you are growing native to the land of Nepal? Is it what you would call a land race from there that has generationally been grown as a hemp derivative crop?
There are two types of hemp grown in Nepal. One of the kind is grown naturally, like we don't even grow sweets, we don't even harvest anywhere. They grow in wild, they grow in the jungle, or they grow anywhere we go, like in roads, anywhere. For this we call wild hemp, and we don't use it for any purpose. This hemp plant is used for making seed oil, which is very much beneficial. Seed oil. It's called wild hemp. People do not know about this seed oil from this hemp plant grown wild, and the plant which we grow are very tall, like 15 to 20 meters tall. They are 15 to 20 meters tall, and we harvest and we cultivate in the month of in here we say September means 6. It grows in the time period of 3 months, like in September, October. In the month of October, this plant will be ready to harvest, and we cut the plant, and we process them for further textile for making fabrics. It's a long process of making fabrics, because it's totally handmade. And there are two ways of making hemp fibers here. One method is by a machine like a tractor machine, which directly pulls out the fiber from the plant. And the next way is like we cut off the plant and soak them in the water for around 1 week, and then we manually we take out the fibers from the plant, and we boil them with the ashes for around 2 or 3 days, and again we dry them. And there's a long process of making this. This is the next step for making.
I hear you right there, and I like the fact that you've gone straight into the industrialization methods in terms of the ways of extracting the fibers even from the hemp plant. But that being said, also with indications that you actually have wild landrace hemp that is growing there that you actually use as seed. It's quite humbling to see that the trees are growing to the heights of 15 to 20 meters, you say?
No, I think meter is feet. I think 10 to 15 to 20
feet.
I'm sorry. Meter, it's 15 to 20 feet.
Oh, that's that's different, because I was like, whoa, what kind of trees are those?
Very, very tall.
No, that's fine. We give thanks to that. These are the narrations right here on Techno Thursday. Young Amma, you want to come in? Blessings, young Amma, you there? Yeah, nice one. Thank you. Yeah, where?
Oh yes. Another question I have is, from your point, how do you view the global hemp industry evolving, and what opportunities do you see on an international scale? Do you see yourself collaborating, or do you have any potential projects that you might be engaged with within the cannabis, within the hemp sector internationally, I mean?
As we are all from the hemp industry, as you have the knowledge of hemp, I don't have to say that how big is the global hemp market. It's very larger and it's very huge market. Like, we haven't even big pharma will gradually shift to hemp industry, cannabis industries. I think so, because what can we make from hemp? Like, hemp uses of hemp more than we can make more than 50,000 products from hemp. Any products around in our surroundings, whatever we see, we can make it from hemp, right? It's a natural hemp. It's a God-gifted plant. It's a miracle plant gifted to us by God to use them properly. So the global market is very high, and because of not every country in the globe is legal, means is not legal, have not legalized to grow hemp, but certainly whichever countries are legal to grow hemp, their economy is very high. Like when in 1960s, when Nepal had legalized weed, marijuana in Nepal, the economy of Nepal was very high. Like, we can also see the history of hippies in Nepal, and at the time the economy of Nepal was very high, and whenever it banned, the economy decreased very in a very highly it decreased. So as far as I know and as far as I can imagine, the global market of hemp is extremely high, and certainly mostly in pharma industry, the pharma industry will catch up. Pharma and textile industries will be a great for international market, and also construction. Of now every countries are starting to go to hemp construction. Whichever products I think of that can be made from hemp. So I think the industry is very high, very large.
Yeah, that's fire. King.
And
Yeah.
I also saw your textiles. Do you see yourself your business expanding into construction anytime soon? Regulations might change over time. Do you think it'll be easier for you to go into construction in Nepal?
Yes, we have gradually started constructing some hemp houses in Nepal. Our company hasn't been introduced to hemp construction, but there are one or two company. One company, I have a friend who is using hemp bricks or hemp blocks as construction material for different small houses, like in the villages, because as we know, it's very not totally legal here in Nepal to grow hemp. We cannot produce as much as hemp blocks for making houses or big for using it as a fully construction purpose. But as we can get raw materials, like availability of raw materials, we can gradually go to hemp construction. These regulations won't change, I guess so, because everyone knows about hemp construction, how installation of hemp, like what are the benefits of hemp houses and this all. And hemp is easily available in Nepal. Most of the part, if we go to the data collection of Nepal, then almost every upper region I have the data of cultivation of hemp in Nepal. It's very high. Like in most of the part in western and upper part, it's the land of Himalayas, as you know. upper part, every high altitude regions, automatically, naturally, the hemp is grown automatically, naturally.
That's quite something there. Shout out to that as well, Kiran. But more so, the indications that even in this moment we look at rounding up our conversations, more so because we are broadcasting load shedded in compliance with the times, just to ensure that these conversations come into light, you know. The give and take relationships in communication, given that even in the paralegal framework that exists, where there are liberties to grow hemp and be a manufacturer on an industrial front, with indications that they are already propagating on a construction front as prototypes, even to the possibilities that can be unlocked in the 50,000 plus uses that couple with the hemp plant. Kiran is giving us a first-hand experience right there in conversations with regards to the happenings in Nepal. Now, that being said, Kiran, if our listeners want to continue the conversations with you, how can they connect with you on your socials?
Whoever wants to be connected with me, you can connect with me through our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn page. We have our Royal Hemp. Name of our company name is Royal Hemp, ROYALHEMP Hemp, and you can connect to us through this, or you can directly view our website or leave a message in our website. Our website is www.royalhempnepal.com, royalhempnepal.com.
Away, shout out to that. Thank you so much for joining us. Maybe before you exit, you know, as an activist, what would you like to put forward as a word even to the community in Nepal?
I'd like to say, go for hemp, fight for hemp, go green, and that's all go hemp. Hemp is the way of living. Like hemp, our ancestors used to live, and our ancestor made hemp a way of living, and we have to guide that generation, and we have to follow that to all generations. I would like to say that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yongama, in salutations, your gratitude as we exit the studio. Love and light, King.
Thank you so much for having me.
Away. That's Yongama. Straight to the point right there.
Yeah, I tried to be quick.
That's fire. Thank you so much. Knowing the value of time in the minute. That being said, even as we step out in studio, definitely this conversation will continue in a part 2. We feel as if we cut it short on so many fronts, you know. So we will be inviting Kiran even to continue the narrative and find out and share more even on the extractive methods with regard to working with the hemp crop. That being said, it's been a pleasing pleasure stealing from Les Brown, borrowing in essence the words of Takudu and Slomo KVA featuring DJ Imposa. They say, Jaja, we want ganja in studio. Kiran said they want hemp in Nepal. Those are the sounds right there in narration, and these are the sounds right here in almost ululation. Slomo, how about that? Love and light. Thank you so much for joining us. Away.
Follow and like PLANTX Radio on different social media platforms as 7LKXBX Media.